Tai versus Izzy. Who is the real leader of the DigiDestined team? Let's have this Digimon debate. So, mate, who do you think is the real leader of the DigiDestined team?
It's not Tai, it's not Izzy, it's probably Mimi.
Probably.
Nah, I guess the question is between Tai and Taichi and Koushiro, Tai and Izzy. And before we actually go into anything, people might say, what about Yamato? What about Matt? What about Sora? I think that Matt is a very, very powerful ego and a powerful character within the team, but he's not a leader. He needs to be looked after, or he needs to be put under control in some capacity. You know how you have some strong personalities? It's all about how to manage these personalities, and he's one of them. He's not a leader, in my opinion. He's a lone wolf that's been reeled in to work within a team.
Exactly. And just as a quick disclaimer here, to the Tai fans and to the Izzy fans, let's not go at each other. This is just a fun little debate. I personally think Izzy has been the real undercover leader all along. So Tai fans, don't get me wrong, Tai is a leader. He's always been a leader. He is the glue that gets all the DigiDestined together. Like, you know, when Tai beat Metal Letterman with Metal Greymon and he got transported into the real world, and then the team just collapsed. They just went all their separate ways. Tai is that glue that keeps them together, but Izzy is the one that pushes them forward. So I think Izzy is the one, like, because of him, like, he comes up with the plans, he comes up with all the ideas, everyone goes to him for advice. There's only one leader out of the two, and it's Izzy.
I don't think that's the case. And to all the Tai fans, please make sure to gun him down. Tell him that how wrong he is. No, my thought process is that, yeah, I understand that Izzy is the smart one. He's the brains of the group. He's the one with the ideas. He's the most pragmatic. And as you said, Tai is the glue. But as the glue, he's the one that manages everyone. If you look at politics, I don't want to go into politics. If you look at real life, you have all these countries. The scientists are not the ones who are leading the country, though, are they? They are the backbone, they're the spine of the country in terms of making sure that the technology and the country is running as well as possible with the best healthcare, the best technology. But they don't have that innate leadership quality to make the tough decisions, to make the tough calls, and make the country and the team per se run as smoothly as possible. Tai is the one that enables Izzy. Tai is the one that is able to utilize Izzy to the best capacity to make the team run as smoothly as possible. I think Tai is an undisputed leader in terms of his personality, is able to take hold of the team. He can influence the team. He can influence certain members. When Tai talks to certain people, certain other DigiDestined on a one-to-one level, you can see that they start to change, or they listen to him, or they react to him in a certain way. And I think that's what
others. He does influence, but him and Matt, they didn't get along, which almost broke the team in half. So as a leader, you should be able to control someone who is going off on their own, who is not agreeing with you. You should be able to get them on board. And Izzy does that.
I would disagree with that, because there's a character trait in psychology in real life called agreeableness. And agreeableness determines how easily you agree to something. And the less agreeable you are, the more likely, according to the studies, you are to progress, because you have to fight tooth and nail to kind of climb up this corporate ladder. Tai doesn't agree with a lot of people. He's always ready to challenge the status quo and challenge people to determine what is the best situation. I think Matt, as we said earlier, he's a very difficult and a strong personality. And how do you manage him? You can't agree to everything that Matt says. You can't agree willy-nilly to what Matt says. I think that if Izzy had his way and he was a leader, and Matt said, oh, we're going to do this, because Matt is a tad older, because Matt is a little bit more intimidating, he's a little bit more stoic, he's a more cool.
He's more brash.
Yeah,
he's
more
hot-headed.
brass.
Matt is also hot-headed.
Yeah, and he's really hot-headed. Izzy might be like, oh, I'm too scared to kind of to disagree with him, or you know what, let him do what he wants. We'll try and do my plan, but if his one happens to affect our plan, it's going to be a bit of a problem. The way I would relate that is to, if you look at One Piece. In One Piece, you have this hot-headed leader that is Luffy, or not hot-headed, but he does his own thing. And no matter what plan that you make, no matter how sophisticated it is, they kind of plan it so that even if we have this wild card, the overall plan isn't affected. And I think Izzy might end up doing something like that, which really isn't too much of a leader. It's accommodating for a wild card, which you shouldn't be when you're talking about your own team.
The thing is, like with Izzy, he grows into becoming a leader. I get the Tai has the charisma. I'm not denying that. Tai, he's got the leaders. He's a born leader. I'm not disputing that. But Izzy does grow into becoming a leader. Like in the Diaboroman film, he literally, as I mentioned in the Izzy's underrated video, which guys check it out, he's the one coordinating the attack on Diaboroman first. Tai, Matt, Sora, they're all listening to Izzy. Izzy was the commander of that little team to attack. He was the proactive one. In Digimon Adventure Tri, let's be real, Izzy did everything. Where was Tai? He was a missing link. He disappeared. He had his little. He kept on like in the early parts of Tri when Matt and Tai, when they were arguing, they would just go all separate ways. Tai would go one way, Matt would go the other way, and the group is just left there, like they're just left there, whilst Izzy is the one picking up the mess. So if Tai was a genuine leader, what happened to him in Tri? Would a real leader just have an argument with another? You can say also another hot-headed alpha male kind of character with Matt. Why? If you're a leader, wouldn't you be able to just brush that argument off and just take it all in and just calm everyone down and come up with a plan?
I
That's
agree.
what Izzy does.
I agree. I think that's a very, very valid point. But what I will say about Tri, we've not seen Last Evolution Kizuna, but also, especially with this new series, they try to make Tai and Matt on equal footing, like the Goku and Vegeta. They try to make them equals in terms of status, in terms of personality. And yes, I agree, Tai was an absolute brat. But the counter argument for that, I would say in Tri is he's actually maturing. He's finding out the fact that being that charismatic, fearless leader has its downfalls in terms of you can't always be so fearless.
Do you think he cracked under the pressure?
I think Izzy cracked under the pressure in Tri. Now, let me explain. I think in Tri, yes. Because you could see that when Izzy was handling absolutely everything, he had black eye bags. He really was struggling. Tentamon was like, look, mate, you need to slow down. You need to slow down. And it was only until when Hercules Kabuterimon made his sacrifice where Izzy truly understood, oh, crap, you know what? Shit, I should have foresaw this, or maybe I could have done this a little different now that my Digimon has to really take the brunt of things. I think Izzy is a very capable and a very he's very capable, very intelligent. He's a very invaluable resource, but as with any resource, you need to know how to use him. I don't think Izzy knows how to use himself properly. Izzy is not the most confident person. As you said, he does grow into his role, but when he first met Tai in the Digimon 2020 series, he was very respectful. I think that you kind of need to have a lack of respect, or a lack of Izzy isn't confident enough. He needs to be a little bit more confident, and I know he gets that. But I think that's what we get with the whole Izzy and Mimi aspect, because Mimi is so confident, Izzy is very not confident. You know, he lacks in confidence. As his confidence increases, he does it so that he could match Mimi, or maybe to woo Mimi.
Is it lack of confidence, or is it humbleness?
I think it's both. It is the fact that he's very, very humble, but it's also...
Despite being a genius.
He doesn't... But that's why. Because he's humble, because of that, I don't think he puts himself forward as much. He doesn't give himself as much credit. As a leader, as someone who is able to kind of take the reins, you kind of need to know your value. You really do need to know your value. And we all know Izzy is probably the most valuable DigiDestined out of everyone. Look at how he was a mentor for the... He was the mentor figure for the O2 cast, weren't he?
He was easily the best mentor, which shows, and I'm gonna say it out straight, I think Izzy was a better mentor to the O2 cast than Tai was. Doesn't that show leadership qualities? Being a mentor, being a guide, giving advice. Like he was giving like Cody advice in the third episode when Cody and Yoli were picking up in the second episode of Adventure 2 when both of them were picking up their Digi eggs. Izzy was giving him a pep talk that you are worthy to be a DigiDestined. Isn't that worthy of a leader?
I think that is worthy of a leader for a bunch or for a team that is the O2 cast. I don't think he would be able to do the same thing with the original cast. The reason I say that is with Izzy being a fourth grader, age does actually come into play because of the whole whole respect thing. He's so respectful. I think he's reluctant to tell these people forcefully, do this, do that, because they're older than him. I think Izzy would be a great leader for the O2 cast, but not for the original cast, if you know what I'm getting at, from especially what we spoke about. And Tai should have done more. He could have done more, and he really did fail the O2 cast, in my opinion. He should have done way more. Yeah, he gave the goggles to Davis, who
don't chat shit about Davis, man. Davis is a great character. I love Davis.
Daisuke-kun is a waste. Is a waste. And no, look, you got Kari and you got Davis on the O2 team. Tai should have really done more for the O2 team.
He should have. He did. I mean, he did okay here and there, but he should have done more. He should have done more. But one thing I will say, in the episode, in the original, when they were gonna go back to the real world through Myotismon's gate, there was the 9 cards, those Digimon cards that they had to solve in order to open the gate. And Izzy figured it out, of course, our little genius. He figured it out. And then everyone picked Tai to pick the last card, because the last card is a toss-up between the two. I think it was Agumon and I can't remember the other one at the top of my head, but everyone picked Tai to pick the card to choose. If he was wrong, the gates wouldn't open and that's it, they're trapped. And if he chose right, then they get to go to the real world. Whilst everyone picked Tai to choose, Tai was the one that picked Izzy to pick the card. Now, that is big. Tai, the leader, is the one picking Izzy to choose that big clutch decision. And then Izzy, of course, being a humble little genius, and as you said, he's a 4th grader and the respect thing, he then gave his confidence back to Tai, giving him the confidence, no, you are our leader, you should do it. So in a way, they both see each other as the leaders of the group. So
I agree. I think that, honestly, as I said earlier, Tai enables Izzy and Izzy enables Tai. Tai could be the most capable leader.
The perfect combo.
Yeah, he's a general. Tai is a war leader. He's a leader of war. He's a leader of battle. Izzy is the intellectual leader in that sense. Yes, they're both leaders, but in terms of hierarchy, Tai has to be a bit higher than Izzy. One of the things I would say is that it seems to be the case where Tai is willing to make the cutthroat decisions even when it's very difficult. In Digimon Adventure Tri, when Meikomon was running rampant, Meiko, as hard as it was, she finally understood through Tai's counsel that Meikomon has to be put down. I don't think anyone else would have been able to take that very cutthroat decision. Now,
I agree. I'll give that.
Now, although this is probably seen
Davis.
as...
Probably Davis is the only other character.
I think Davis would have done as well. But I think what I was going to say is, although this could be seen as a negative, and it probably will be, we will speak about this some other time, when Tai was trying to force Agumon to digivolve into a ultimate and we ended up getting Skull Greymon. The fact is that Tai understood the need to grow more powerful, the need to increase in power to fend off the threats. Tai has a decent amount of foresight to know that, okay, this is what needs to be done. That is the statement that I want everyone to kind of remember. Tai knows what needs to be done. Now, he doesn't always understand how it can be done, and that's where he leans on Izzy. Izzy knows how things can be done. Tai knows what needs to be done. From the Digimon Adventure 2020 series, we understand that Tai's interactions tend to change people. How Tai interacts with Matt, he pretty much started off showing Matt, hey, you know what? Joining a team might be good. Obviously, in episode 9, we saw that Matt, in episode 8 and 9, we saw when Matt interacted with the rest of the DigiDestined team, he again understood what it means to be a team member. With Izzy interacting with Tai, he got the confidence. But one of the interesting things was when they were trying to get Joe onto the team, and Joe was being a bit of a brat, saying, nah, he needs to study. Tai's like, okay, cool. He knows that Joe is not going to be good for them at that state. So he was willing to, okay, cool, we'll just do it without you. Whereas I think Izzy would have been like, look, we need more people. They would have spent more time. Tai makes the cutthroat decisions when it's needed. And again, he knows what to do, when to do it, but he doesn't know how to do it.
I see that, but then in the Dear Borman film, that's where Izzy peaked. He made the decision. He got everyone round to come up with the plan. Even every crucial moment, everyone goes to Izzy. even during the world tour, when the Digimon were coming, just before the World Tour series in Adventure 02, everyone went to Izzy, and Izzy was the one telling everyone, yo, Tai, you look at the emails, you start emailing DigiDestined from South America, Matt, email everyone in Africa, everyone else in Europe, whatever. Izzy is the one that was, giving orders, giving directions. So I would say from Adventure 02 and to Try, he grows into the leader role. In the original, Tai was hands down the leader, hands down. But then in Adventure 02 and Try, I would say, I think Tai loses that leadership status, and then Izzy's the one that's become the equal of the leader, in my opinion.
And I would actually lean towards that. One of the things I want to mention is that because Tai has a sister in the team, which is Kari, that kind of compromises his thinking. Tai is a bit too emotional, and at the same time, he's not emotional at all. But when it comes to his family, nothing comes in the way. And as a leader, you kind of need to be as unbiased as possible. You need to do what's best for the team. A lot of the time, Tai does what's best for Kari. He does what's best for him, even at times, to be honest. He wanted Skull Greymon.
Exactly.
Izzy is humble, and he's always thinking about the team.
Exactly.
And as you said, in 02 and in the latter series, even in the movies as well, Izzy really did shine. But Tai is the one that I think ultimately enables him. And with that, we're going to probably go round in a circle. So we probably
we can agree to disagree.
We can agree to disagree because I'm right.
No, you're not.
Let's pass it on to the comments section.
Again, guys, Tai fans, I love Tai. Tai's my favorite character. Okay, I'm not bashing him.
No, he's not your favorite character, you
leader.
liar. He's not your favorite character, man.
He's one of my favorite characters. Obviously,
you can't have one of the favorite characters. You can't have more than one. Come on.
You don't even have a favorite character. Your favorite character is Tentamon. Tentamon.
Well, I think Tentamon's amazing.
But guys, don't hate, please. This is just a fun little discussion. Have a little drink, have a little iced tea whilst you're watching this video. This literally is just a little debate. It's just a fun little topic we thought of. Because, Izzy's really shined, and obviously Tai is still a leader, but Izzy has shined as well. So we just thought, let's have a little debate going. So guys, don't hate on each other. Both are great characters, okay? We're not saying one is good and one is bad. Both of them are great characters, and both of them are leaders, okay? So with that being said...
Can I say it now? Care for nothing.
It's my catchphrase, but go on. You're going to butcher it, but go on.
Care for nothing.